Shabbat Shalom. I'm doing a part two of this barley report controversy. So it seems the issue lies in, well, this newsletter reveals it, March 1st. It says, Becca declared an Adar bait because she did not have enough barley to make an omer by the 10th day of the first month. This is the first time I had ever heard you had to have an omer by the 10th month. By the 10th of the month, sorry. It has been the position of sighted moon that you must have barley for wave sheaf day, and for no other reason. Wave sheaf day, okay, I disagree with when this arrives, but wave sheaf is the day right after the first day of unleavened bread, so would it be ready by then? If we wait till March 31, then much of the barley would be lost on the ground. I do not need barley at the end of the 12th month. I do not need barley by the 10th day. I only need barley by wave sheaf day. So I think, yeah, that's the disagreement. So Ancient Path New Moon, Rebecca, is saying this is a reasonable cutoff date. I tend to agree with her because that is also the date when you also pick out the lamb. So you can't really pick out the lamb if the barley isn't ready as well. It's just not orderly in my opinion. It just matches with the patterns of things. So does it have to be 99% ripe, 100% ripe, or is 90% enough? So that's a big question as to how ripe does it have to be. But medium dough seems to be the consensus. Okay, gonna pause over here. It's not pausing. Okay, here's the first testimony by Randy Cates. So he's saying that they looked all over basically, and there were some right on the verge of being ready, borderline ready. And he said our cutoff date was the last day of unleavened bread. So again, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with that, and agree with or lean more towards Rebecca Bitterman that it should be the 10th of the first month when you select the lamb. I'm just scanning through this. All right. So the conclusion of this report is we have the amount needed to make the wave sheaf offering. So that is his conclusion. But I believe he used the last day of unleavened bread. I'm not sure. We had to keep the Passover before we knew we had the offering or not. Okay, that's... Oh man, I don't know. I'm a little... I'm on the fence for that one. I can see why this is controversial. Now we're going to Joseph's testimony. Okay, I have to preface this with this section here and say that Nehemiah Gordon is where Joseph learned how to examine and do this barley search. So he said Nehemiah used to search for a handful of barley, and then it kind of evolved to looking for a field full, and now a nation full. Nehemiah also established, the barley had to be aviv by the end of the 12th month, so it kept kind of evolving and changing. Once it was aviv by the end of the 12th month, then after the new moon was seen, Passover could be determined. So it seemed right up until that time. It has been my understanding the barley had to be aviv by wave sheaf day. So that is the only reason for having it. Okay, so yeah, the The discrepancy also is, when is Wave Sheaf Day? Is it the morrow after the weekly Sabbath or the morrow after the High Holy Day? And the Septuagint indicates, or seems to indicate, that it is the day after the first day of unleavened bread. So that presents another issue, I believe. Okay, we went out on Sabbath, February 24th, to do a short preliminary search. I found enough barley to declare this the month of Aviv that day. By the time we concluded our services around midnight, I had no time left to prepare the video. I was already foot washing after the Sabbath and preparation day for Passover. Okay, no, I can see why people are at odds about this. I advised our readership keep it based on the number of days it takes for the barley to ripen. Based on the January 10th first report, saying it was in the flowering stage, that's actually a strong evidence too. All we had to do is find enough of it. Okay, so is it problematic to keep Passover early or late? I would say it's more of an issue to keep it later. So I think keeping it this way, the way they're doing it in Sighted Moon, it's not so much of a problem. I mean, it can be in a way, but it's more of covering your rear end, so to speak. Because if you're doing it early, like in February, for example, and it turns out, okay, it's actually Aviv next month, you can just, you know, do a do-over basically. So I can see why that's not a bad idea to do that. But my issue lies in the day of the wave sheaf. When is the day? Uh, I don't believe it is the Sunday or the morrow after the Sabbath in the week of unleavened bread. During the feast of unleavened bread, it is the morrow after the first day. So if they searched on the morrow of the first day of unleavened bread, would they have found the amount they needed? And if the answer is no, then that means the new moon of this, the one coming up, March 11th, projected, that should be the first day of the new year. Again, not going by the weather patterns in anywhere else, but only Israel. So I think this brings a lot more clarity to this issue. Again, not here to condemn anyone or to say anyone is more right or more wrong, but just to bring clarity to the situation. And I actually personally feel if you did Passover already, you're just covering your. It's like insurance in a way. You're trying to cover your derriere, for lack of a better term. And so if you're not right, then you just wait for the wheat harvest, and that would be confirmed by Shavuot, whether you were right or wrong. But again, even the day of Shavuot, there's a lot of variation there too, because again, if you're counting from the morrow after the first day of unleavened bread, you're going to get a wildly different date than what you would keep if you kept Passover already, based on how it is being observed by sighted moon. So let me just pause and see when they're projecting it. Okay, here's a third witness. It's in the comments. James Ralph says, "We stated in the video, excuse me, we could have picked an Omer easily in the field where we made the video. We also stated we could have picked an Omer in 2 other locations. We did pick a handful each. But we do not have a temple to take an Omer to. We did not pick an actual Omer of barley. They are not our fields or our land. We picked a handful to demonstrate and show you the barley that was standing there was already turning golden brown." So that is a interesting report. Okay, just for FYI, they're keeping, Sighted Moon will be keeping the Pentecost roughly 7 weeks from March the 3rd. So that would be 10, 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be April 21st. So if the wheat is ripe and ready, ready to go by that date, then they would know whether that date is correct. However, when you go back to Nazarene Israel and see when they're doing their, uh, actually, they're not doing it in this date, but basing it on that scenario, the 26th of March, and then the following day would be Shavuot, or not Shavuot, the first day of the count. Then would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, be May the 15th. Not mistaken. Let me just count that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, around May 15th or 16th. So that is I don't know what the difference is in terms of. Looks like almost a month difference. So about 1, 2, 3, about 3 weeks difference, which is a good enough length of time to differentiate the readiness of the harvest, the wheat harvest. And then you have Nazarene Israel, Shavuot date, which differs from mine, which would be May the 19th, which is a little bit later, almost a month later than sighted moon, but only 4 days after the Septuagint reckoning. So that's all for this follow-up video. It seems like I now understand why there's controversy surrounding this timing in 2024 of the holy days. Close that. So, anyways, I'm not here to judge. I'm only here to understand and just wish everyone happy holiday season, whether you've done it already or you're doing it soon or even after that. Because I know Devorah's Day Tree, I think that group will be doing that, keeping the feast. I mean, not in March, but I think in April, if I'm not mistaken. So that's all for this video. Shabbat Shalom and Maranatha.